Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Please apologize for the more raw style of this video. I just thought I'd come and kind of share with you my thoughts on what's going on. As much as we love to make educational videos or document or share stories of my life or others in the recruitment space, I also just love to add my commentary and thoughts on exciting news that's taking place. And because this happened not even a week ago, I thought it would be a good idea to just kind of share with you what's going on in case you have no idea what I'm talking about and what it could mean for us recruiters and agencies moving forward. So, as you can see from this screen, it's obviously about LinkedIn, the OG monopoly LinkedIn. You got to love them, you got to hate them, especially if you are a recruiter or owner of a recruitment agency. And they just did something quite interesting. So, let's kind of dive into it. And let me go ahead and switch to this tab here. So as you can see here, let me just zoom in, okay? Oh, give me one sec. So as you can see here from this screen, LinkedIn went ahead and blocks Apollo and Seamless.ai. What does this mean? Who is Apollo? Who's Seamless? Let's just read this article together and I'll share with you my thoughts on March, and this was written on March 7th, right? So LinkedIn blocked Apollo and Seamless AI by blocking their access to the professional networking site. Reddit sales community is already worried about it. See the discussion here. I first read about it from Clark Barron. So he wrote, the Seamless AI and Apollo LinkedIn pages are now gone. Literally, they just woke up one day, they logged into LinkedIn, and their page literally is gone. It just disappeared, kapoof, into thin air, banned, with no warning, no foresight. This is still breaking, and I'm digging. I wonder who's next. If you're scraping LinkedIn data, I call your legal team right now. So, in case that you guys are unaware, Apollo is one of the OG data scraping tools. A lot of marketers, salespeople, even us agencies use Apollo to streamline our lists and targeting to then be able to do effective outreach to prospective clients and candidates, right? They've been around for many, many years, almost, I think, about a decade. And I think they also just completed a huge round of fundraising. So this couldn't have come at a more worse time. How juicy can this be? Like, look at this picture. Like, literally, they logged in and it says LinkedIn page isn't available. That is just so bonkers. This development has sent ripples through the sales community as many professionals rely on these tools to identify and connect with potential clients. Yesterday, Tim Zhang, the founder and CEO of Apollo IO, mentioned that they are still working it out with LinkedIn. Before I go any further, if you are in recruiting or you're just about to check out recruiting or you're about to start a recruiting career, LinkedIn, like I said, you gotta love it and hate it. You gotta love it because it is the largest professional social networking site on the planet. And if you are a recruiter, you live and die in LinkedIn, right? You cannot be an effective recruiter without LinkedIn. For most of the industries out there, LinkedIn is the it tool or the OG tool. And for that reason, I've always been super cautious on pissing off LinkedIn. Over the years, they've gotten more sensitive of signing in to multiple, having multiple people sign to one account, signing in at different locations, VPNs, opening up too many tabs. I mean, I remember a couple times, I think several years ago, where I had too many tabs open my LinkedIn, and then immediately flagged me saying, "Hey, you lost access for 2 hours because LinkedIn sees suspicious activity." Me viewing way too many profiles manually somehow triggered their alarm that I was some sort of bot or something. And they're like, there's no way a human can be looking at this many profiles. I was doing it honestly manually. And the fact that I had too many tabs open, it triggered it. And I'll just never forget the feeling like, oh my God, what if I lost LinkedIn, right? It's not one of those platforms where you can just lose and then you can go and open up another account. They're going to crack down on you. And if you lose an account, you lose an account. So you want to make sure you do everything really, really well and you're compliant, especially with their terms of service, right? And whatever tools that you use, making sure, especially when it comes to data, the reason why this is so relevant is a lot of recruiters, a lot of recruitment agencies, a lot of businesses around the world use tools like Apollo that scrape LinkedIn for the data, right? And a lot of AI tools out there, a lot of basically data or plugins or third-party tools out there. Most of them get their data from LinkedIn, and it seems like LinkedIn is just dropping their gauntlet and making their position known again, saying, "Hey, we are the OG, we are the dominant player, we have a monopoly, play by our rules," and that kind of seems like what's happening right now. So, coming back to this, a lot of companies have been flying low key under the radar to be able to scrape LinkedIn. And for many years, they haven't been as strict. But I've noticed even the past decade, LinkedIn has been getting more and more strict, and you're starting to get more and more flags, and they're just cracking down more and more. And the fact that this happened literally not even a week ago, the question is, man, if this can happen to big companies like Apollo and Seamless, who else is next, right? It kind of makes you think. But as you can see, a quote from Tim Zhang, he said, "We are actively working with LinkedIn to understand the nature of our brand page restriction and to resolve matter as soon as possible. I'm not sure what percentage of Apollo's business is connected to this data scraping feature, Chrome extensions, and things like that. I don't know how many additional other revenue they're getting from other users outside of the LinkedIn profile, but I know that Apollo is like one of these OG synonymous tool lead generation tools that many business loves, many users love, and it absolutely works very, very tightly with LinkedIn. So whether or not this is like kind of a lethal blow or like a huge, almost multiple knockouts to Apollo, I don't know how bad it's going to be, but I know that it's probably did not make Tim and his executive team's morning hearing this news. And I can't even understand like the pain that they might be feeling, and they're probably scrambling and been scrambling for a long time now. Let's see. Hi, everyone. We want to provide clarity regarding our ongoing discussions with LinkedIn about the temporary removal of our brand page, Apollo LinkedIn page. We are actively working with LinkedIn to understand the nature of our brand page restriction and to resolve the matter as soon as possible. We want to assure you that this does not disrupt Apollo services or impact our core platform functionality. Okay, so they're still alive, they're still doing well, seeming like, without looking into it too much more. In the meantime, we encourage everyone to engage with us on our community Slack channel. We will share the latest updates as soon as we have more information. What else? B2B Marketing Shots is a bi-weekly newsletter. You can subscribe. So let's see what happened. So LinkedIn has implemented measures to prevent Apollo and Seamless AI from accessing profile data due to violation of its terms of service, aka TOS. According to LinkedIn's help documentation, the platform explicitly prohibits using automated software, devices, script robots, other means or processes to access, scrape, crawl, or spider the service or any related data or information. This is what I'm saying. And coming back to recruiting, there's so many there's so many plugins and tools out there that automate on LinkedIn's TOS. And I know this is against LinkedIn's TOS. And so with me, you may disagree with me, but I will not go anywhere close to there. I would rather continue to manually personalize, send out emails, messages than rely on any of these because the risk is just not worth it. Your account getting in trouble is just not worth it to me at the end of the day. And a lot of these softwares would tell you, hey, you don't have to worry. We go underneath the threshold of LinkedIn. We will never trigger any sort of alerts. But it's like, my goodness, how much risk do you want to play with here? And again, if you are a recruiter, there's no LinkedIn substitute. There's nothing that replaces LinkedIn. There are softwares out there that we're watching. Some of them are promising that maybe can give LinkedIn a run for its money in the future. But LinkedIn, like, you gotta have it. And most industries, you absolutely need it. And so no matter what the PR or marketing person is saying or the founder is saying of any data software, just be very, very careful, because if you lose your LinkedIn profile, these softwares will still run and they're going to continue to get more and more customers, but you just lost your LinkedIn privileges possibly forever. And if you're like, oh, how about I go to like the support ticket or help section on LinkedIn. I've just heard a lot of horror stories where it just didn't get to their ideal scenario, which is like reactivating their profiles. So just don't even go there. Don't even risk it. And for someone who's been a recruiter for about a decade and who hopes to continue to be a recruiter, yeah, like LinkedIn is one of those things that I'm just not going to risk pissing off. LinkedIn also deleted their business page from its platform as well as implemented bans on the platforms itself. I mean, LinkedIn couldn't even give them a heads up or like a what's up or hey, send some sort of email or anything. They just literally deleted their business page just like that and banned the platform. Like what a boss move, right? These tools typically work by extracting contact information and other professional details from LinkedIn profiles to help sales teams build prospect databases. LinkedIn has historically been protective of its user data, even more so, as I can personally attest to, viewing unauthorized scraping as both a threat to user privacy and its own business model, right? So they take user privacy very, very seriously, but its business model is the second point that's particularly very interesting, as I have my own thoughts to it. As one sales professional noted in Reddit, seems like Seamless and Apollo are getting blocked by LinkedIn now. We've been using Seamless for a year or so, and all of a sudden our accounts are being flagged. What are the impact on sales teams? The immediate consequence is disruption to established prospecting workflows. Sales teams that have built their outreach strategies around these platforms now face significant challenges: inability to verify contact information against LinkedIn profiles, loss of access to real-time updates on prospect job changes, and disruption to automated prospect list building, right? What's next? Sales professionals are quickly pivoting to alternative approaches. Some are returning to more manual prospecting methods, while others are exploring compliant tools that access data through approved channels. LinkedIn Sales Navigator remains a platform sanctioned option, though it lacks some of the automation features that made Apollo and Seamless AI attractive. This is interesting because this is exactly what I was about to say. When you come on LinkedIn, there are, I would say, just let's just say three really main LinkedIn products, paid products for recruiters. You got like the OG premium RPS, and then you got the more affordable LinkedIn Recruiter Lite and Sales Navigator. Both right now, roughly around the same price, roughly not that different from each other. Recruiter is a little bit skewed towards recruiting. Sales Navigator is a little bit skewed towards marketing and sales teams. But both, as a recruiter and as a salesperson, you can kind of use both and get by. They just differ again by different little features and functions. If you are a professional salesperson or a marketing person, Sales Navigator right now, compared to other options out there, isn't that great. It's very limited. You do obviously have access to LinkedIn's database, which makes it the most valuable. But when it comes to enrichment and contacting data and downloading and being able to automate everything, it's very, very limited. So what's going on with LinkedIn? Like, why did they decide to just drop the guillotine on Apollo and Seamless now? I have a suspicion that if I was LinkedIn, going back to the business model point of view, I have an inkling that LinkedIn is secretly or maybe publicly, I haven't been following it, going to add or revitalize their sales navigator to become more robust, right? Like they've already created a sales product, and now they're seeing all these other businesses just exploit the data from their platform. So if I was LinkedIn, I would want to reestablish and kind of resurrect the walls around my moat, my competitive advantage. And I would want to actually make my sales product better, be able to deliver more features and automation or enrichment or contact details that all these other things do, and then probably find a way to monetize it. And if that's the case, I think from a business point of view, it's a no-brainer, right? But from a small business recruitment's point of view, could be a painful, because like recruitment is also like, you can definitely get by having a budget, but LinkedIn is a must. And when you're someone like me who's paying for like the big premium, it's pricey, and they've been kind of steadily increasing the price each year. And I wouldn't be surprised if like they use this as a way to prop up their sales navigator, make it like a better sales navigator product, and then probably upcharge or increase the price. So I wouldn't be surprised if the prices get more expensive moving forward, especially for LinkedIn's product, as they're now literally eliminating competition and just taking over again and reminding everyone, this is us. Don't tread lightly on our turf, or else you're gone, right? So this enforcement action may signal a broader shift in the sales intelligence industry. We could see greater emphasis on first-party data, more formal data partnership between LinkedIn and third party, development of new prospecting tools that don't rely on scraping. Tough luck there. I mean, how can you do prospecting without data, right? And if you can't do data on LinkedIn, oh my goodness, you're significantly limited. For a sales team caught in the transaction, the priority should be protecting their LinkedIn accounts while developing alternative prospecting strategies that respect platform rules. While this enforcement creates short-term challenges for sales professionals as well as the tools that rely on specific platforms, while a deal might be made alternative for now, we will expect some bumps into the road. Other platforms that could be effective in the future could be ZoomInfo, Lucia, Clearbit, Hunter, Snow, and LeadIQ. So the interesting thing is, what does this mean for us recruiters, right? So I think, yes, Apollo is a tool that we are aware of, but yes, we also use other tools as well that are compliant with LinkedIn. But that's also on top of like having a really strong fundamentals of recruiting A to Z. And the reason why that's so important is because an over reliance on technology will end up actually making us become a little bit lazy. And for any reason, if a crazy event just like this happens, you are caught in a rut, right? So with me, the real strong thing, the one of the main benefits of having strong fundamentals is you can take all the technology away from me and my team. We can still go out there and prospect and client and can't properly because recruitment, there's a lot of different steps that you just have to understand how to connect all the dots and form that strong foundation first, right? Technology is then added on top to make everything a lot more efficient and optimized. But if you don't have that foundation, if you take away that tech, you have nothing. So am I really, really concerned? No. Like we know exactly what we can do. All of these platforms can shut down. We can still be successful. But also there's so many other tools and methods and tactics that you can use in prospecting than just relying on tools like Apollo or ZoomInfo or things like that. So, coming back to just recruitment, it's very important to have a holistic skill set, and you got to be ready whenever something like this happens and pivot and embrace other tools and methods, or even go back to the aspects of manual that make sure that your business doesn't stop. Right. On the other hand, I can see this as a very strategic move by LinkedIn. There's a lot more competition, there's a lot more noise. They're just constantly watching out and protecting their kingdom, protecting their moat. And they also have a lot of products that have been okay up until this point, but they know for a fact it can be a lot better. And if you're the big guy, the best way to kind of show your presence is to either shut competition down, make moves like this, or start doing a lot more M&A or kind of acquiring activities so that you can just control that market share, but at the same time hopefully make their product better. So I would hope the silver lining is that maybe Sales Navigator can become more of a robust product that we can look forward to, and it would benefit us recruiters. And I guess the final point I do want to make is that this just goes to show that as AI and technology continues to progress, and as like mass and bulk outreach is prevalent everywhere, it's just a friendly reminder that if you can make the effort to develop relationships, right? Key relationships, it's all about not just quantity, but quality, right? And really focus on the methods and the right tools that can help you do that without pissing off LinkedIn, then that is really the way to go. In recruitment, it's all about relationships to relationships, quality over quantity. Apollo, ZoomInfo, Seamless helped us with that quantity aspect, being able to blast out emails, leveraging and using data from LinkedIn at a scale. But if LinkedIn's cracking down, there's ways to kind of pivot around that for sure. But it's just, again, I think our friendly reminder to all of us, the more importance on quality and how us as professionals, whether it's recruitment, marketing, or sales, can really just remind and keep that in the back of our mind, and focus on that as technology continues to advance, different changes continues to happen, and AI and automation continues to become more and more prevalent. So crazy move from LinkedIn. Is this the first time LinkedIn something like this? No. Is this going to be the last time? Nope. But these products like ZoomInfo, Lucia, Clearbit, I know of a lot of these. And so don't be reliant on just one product. Always have a plan B and a plan C, but also always understand how to do things properly, from manual to alternative paths to utilizing other software and plugins out there that perhaps are a little bit more compliant as well, making sure that you're just not playing the game of the wild west and then playing that LinkedIn lottery. Do things correctly, build a good business, have good practices, and if something just happens and you get hit, just pivot, stand back up. But for everyone else out there, let this be a learning experience that stuff like this can happen. And if you're over reliant on one technology, then maybe it's time to not do that. Start learning others, and start doing things that can also protect you from situations like this, so that your business and your workflow doesn't get truly disrupted. So I hope you enjoyed this video. What a crazy time. And if you want to see more like, ad hoc, raw commentary of news, comment down below. But I hope you enjoyed it and hope you guys are well. And we'll see you on the next one.